What's up? It's good to see you. Today we're going to do a bit of a different format. I'm wicked tired. I didn't sleep very good last night.
I'm tired, boss.
So I'm going to sit down and just chill and talk about the main things I don't like about amplifier simulators, and more specifically, just kind of like using computers to record in general. If you've ever seen my other channel, I just launched it. It's called Andrew Seaman 2. It's a channel where I'm actually like uploading full videos of where I'm recording guitar and like making drums and laying down bass lines and mixing and all that stuff. But I've been recording a lot, and there's so many like little complications that I run into that make amp sims for me very annoying. And the first one is just being like the general setup process. I don't know about you, but I love the fact that with a traditional amplifier and guitar pedals, it's so simple just to like start playing, right? Like you just hit the on button on your amp, you turn your pedals on with all of your pedals connected to a power bar via, a Voodoo Labs Pedal Power 3 or something similar. And you can just start playing like immediately, like you don't have to wait for your computer to boot up. You don't have to wait for GarageBand to boot up or Logic or whatever you're using. You don't have to turn the amp sim on. You don't have to dial in the gain on the audio interface or like get everything set up, or like cables are loose. Some cables have been unplugged because you were using it for something else. It's like the process of using amp sims, it's so tedious for me. Maybe some of you guys in the comments have better ideas for how to optimize this process. But for me, I find just the setup process to be so painstaking. Like it's so inefficient, and it's so it's just inferior to using real amps. Honestly, it's just not as good. Maybe we'll get to a point where everything will be better, but I don't know how that will be. Then again, maybe I just need a new computer. It takes my computer forever to load now, when I'm running all this software, particularly if I'm using ScreenFlow Editor to record what I'm doing at the same time. The next thing I don't like about using amp sims is more has to do with the audio interface and also the kind of pickups I'm using, which is active pickups. And I find that active pickups and audio interfaces, it's kind of a pain to dial in the output gain perfectly. So if you crank the gain on your guitar, or excuse me, the pickup volume, I find it so easy to get clipping, and you have to like adjust with the gain perfectly, or you dial down your pickup volume. And I don't know, to me it just doesn't seem right. It's like I want to crank the pickups. I want maximum output on my pickups. And there's no issues when doing that with my pedals and my amp, but instead when you're using an audio interface like over here and an amp sim and all this other stuff, it's like, there's so much time that's spent on like dialing in things, and also like setting up your guitar in such a way where it's customized with your audio interface and your amp sim. The next thing I don't like about them is just the sheer volume of them, and this is a weird thing to talk about, but to me it's like there's just so many of these things now, the amp modelers and amp sims, and they're all great, it's fantastic, but like there's so many of them and they all kind of do the same thing, give or take. So it's kind of like, well, why do we even have so many in the first place? And I understand that the illogic, if that's a word, the lack of rationality in this one, because it's like we should be happy that there's more stuff, and I am happy about it, but like there's just so many and I kind of feel overwhelmed, and the marketing is so good. I'm like, oh, should I get the Amplitube? Should I get the Neural DSP that everybody's talking about these days? Or should I get this? Should I get that? It's like, bro, I don't need any of that stuff. Like, frankly, I don't need it. I don't need to buy the Helix or whatever it's called for the DAW. I mean, I've got like 30 guitar pedals or something. Like, it's just so much stuff, and I find like all this stuff overwhelms me at times. Like, I feel like it kind of takes me away from the art of playing guitar and making music and recording. And for that reason, I don't know about you, maybe some of you guys do this as well, but I'll just like play unplugged a lot. I don't even plug into anything, because it's just such a pure process of just picking up my guitar and starting to play. No computers, no cameras to record what I'm doing, no nothing. Like, I'm just playing the guitar and just watching TV, jamming, maybe practicing a song. To me, that's the shit. Like, that's the best way to play guitar, and that's basically what I do. By the way, if you're looking for something to practice, get the fretboard memorization cheat sheet. It's basically the triads and all the major and minor triads in every key. I've been practicing this every day now for close to a year. But you can also sign up to my forum too at forum.travelingguitarist.com. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of getting creeped out by the fact that 16 different companies control the flow of information, whereas it used to be, billions of websites. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, ultimately, amp sims and the computer setup, there's something about it that kind of takes away from the art of playing, and it kind of like I remember as a kid when I would play guitar in my room, my crappy little Line 6 Spider 2. That there was something so easy and pure about that. Like I would just like go online, find some tabs, plug into my guitar and just jam, man. Like, but nowadays it's so, maybe it's just me, but now it's so clout based. You know what I mean? Like it's like I got to upload stuff online and I got to like do all this stuff. And that being said, I'm very grateful for all of this because we have access to a distribution network that wasn't previously available. Like when I grew up, I sound like I'm like 50 or something, but for real, like things have changed so much. But when I was 18, people were just starting to upload to YouTube. I didn't know how. I didn't have the camera gear. It all just seemed intimidating. But yeah, most people didn't have access to that kind of stuff. And really it wasn't until like 2008, 2009 when people started getting really serious about that style of content and uploading online. But ultimately, I'm wondering what you guys have to say about it. I've already said it, but there's just something about it that, the computers they're super awesome and I love them and there's so much stuff that you can do with them. But just using a traditional amp and some pedals, there's just something about it, and maybe it's like the way people talk about old cars, there's just something about it. Maybe it's a novelty. Maybe I'm just nostalgic or something. But maybe younger kids don't feel that way. But for me, it's like, there was something really special about just using that as a traditional setup.